Good morning. It is 6:31 a.m. on Monday, November 19th, 2018. I am Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I'm feeling a little bit coffee this morning. That's a turn of phrase that didn't work out entirely like I imagined. I mean, I think in context you can understand that because I just coughed, I'm referring to feeling like coughing. But because it makes the word coffee, it doesn't quite work out. I think that one needs more workshopping. I don't know if some of that is just generic things because sometimes you get a little bit of a cough. But I did go and walk around Seoul a bunch yesterday, and I don't know if air quality was an issue. It didn't seem especially smoggy yesterday, but I don't know. I'm starting to wonder what it's going to be like in the winter. Right now, I woke up and it was kind of warm in the hotel room, but it's smoggy outside, and so I don't want to have the windows open right now. So I think in the future, I may, like for my next trip, I may want to plan around that possibility, like bring a fan or something, or potentially buy a cheap fan here. Anyway, rather than try to have it in my luggage. Anyway, we went into Seoul yesterday. Me and my, of the three people from my company who are working on this project, two of us are still here, so the two of us. And so our plan originally was to go to another one of the big palaces in the city and then also walk back through this big open market. And we ended up shifting the palace choice from one to another because, in planning from the last trip, where we ended up having to do standing room only on the train back, we decided to buy our return train ticket as soon as we arrived instead of waiting until the afternoon to do it. And sure enough, it proved already necessary to buy an earlier ticket, because apparently just those afternoon evening trains are just that popular or busy, crowded, I guess. So in any event, we picked one of the smaller palaces to go and look at instead of the one that we'd originally been planning, because we had to take an earlier train back. And it was still nice, though. This one, compared to the other one, had a lot of the same sorts of things in it in terms of the architecture and so on. But also, this one was kind of like right smack in the middle of the city as opposed to being sort of more separated. And so it was interesting in the sense that you have a lot more in the way of these vistas with these traditional looking buildings, but with big modern skyscrapers behind them. And then also there was a few more just little touches here and there of I feel like I'm not sure how to express this. I guess just more contrast of the buildings, and and it was still quite nice. And then we walked back out through this big open market, and it's interesting because I feel like if I compare it to Blade Runner, that makes it sound bad. But I don't want it to, because I thought it was actually really cool, because it's these big, open, crowded, busy markets where there's all sorts of shops. There's several square blocks where it's just every single block is just crowded with these little shops that sort of spill out into the streets, and then there's vendors in the center, and it's crowded and it's busy, but I really think it's cool. And it it reminds me of the Tsukiji fish market in Tokyo, and with I guess the exception, the only difference there being that like the stores here like are meant for just like regular people to go and buy from, as opposed to like a more specialist sort of situation where it's like restaurant purchasers and that sort of thing. But in any event, it was really cool walking up and down, and especially when I'm looking for the more touristy sort of thing to buy souvenirs and so on, and you do see some of the same things in one shop and then in another shop, and it's like, it's like I wonder if there's just like a warehouses of touristy stuff that they multiple places are buying from, and I don't know, but it was very cool. It was exciting. We got lunch at sort of like a little street vendor selling a bunch of fried foods there, and it was overall a pretty good trip. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it there for right now, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.